everybody, welcome back to the range. Tom here, and today we are doing this Matchbox 1933 Plymouth. Really cool looking casting, really liked it. Thought about going bank robber car or something in that general line, but I ended up changing my mind about halfway through the build. So why don't we go ahead and let's get started. I got this casting out of a Matchbox 5-pack. Can't remember the other cars that came with it, but I thought it was pretty neat. Thought it'd be a nice little rat rod, hot rod, some kind of car within that kind of area. And, when I was taking it apart and everything, I ended up, I ended up drilling out some of the posts, put some screws in it. And then I ended up not using the post. Ended up cutting the post out, and you'll see that here in a little bit. But getting it together or getting it apart wasn't that difficult. I didn't really know exactly what all I was gonna do to it at first. But like me, I just kind of wing it through the builds. I'm filing down the posts as you see here because I'm kind of like still determining what all I'm gonna do. But, once, I got it in the stripper, it kind of started, I was like, you know what, I have an idea what I'm going to do. I'm going to probably cut the front end off, chop the top, drop the top, and, go from there. But instead of actually just dropping the top down, after I got done cutting it, and, kind of seeing what I was going to do to it, I didn't really want to cut any more off of it. It's what I had to. I had to file this little portion down because, I kind of didn't cut it straight. So it kind of was like off a little bit. But that wasn't a big problem. That was pretty simple to fix and pretty simple to do. And, I really do like these older model castings, like the cars and stuff. Because they have a lot of potential, if you ask me. Because they're pretty much you can go any route with them. Mad Max, you can go old school hot rod, you can go luxury car, whatever you want to do. But I knew I wasn't going to be making this a fancy little car or some kind of rich person car. I wanted to go kind of a rat fink thing. And, a lot of people, they think rat fink, big tires, stuff like that, little dudes sticking out of the top. But I ended up just putting some rat fink decals on it. The colors I went with, you won't see me doing any painting in the video, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what I did. I did a candy tequila yellow with a pearl white top and a charcoal black line separating the black or from the white and the yellow. And it's the first time I've used the tequila yellow in a while, and I really liked how I did it because I ended up putting a wicked aluminum base over top of it. I got this 3D printed engine from Brad over at Full Customs Diecast Garage. Dude, he makes some of the best parts. I ended up using a couple of his 3D printed parts. One was that cool little engine, and I also ended up using a set of wheelie bars that he had 3D printed, and they turned out amazing. They look good on it. They got the right look, the right size. Brad, you did an awesome job with these, and I hope to get further 3D printed parts from you, and we'll talk about that another time. I thought about making my own little front frame for this car, but it wasn't working out to the exact how I was wanting to do it. So I ended up using this Benchworks Toys rat rod style frame front end from an older casting that just kind of broke in half. So I was like, you know what, I'll just go ahead and use this. So I did a little bit of trimming around the edges to where I can still fit it, attach it to the base, make it look halfway decent, and give it that look. I cut off the rear fenders because the wheels I was going to use, I used from a a much larger scale diecast car from Dollar General. A little Ford pickup truck with they had these, I don't know what they're called. They're solid wheels. You'll see that in the final results. I don't know exactly what they're called, but you'll also actually see them before then. But they just honestly they fit the theme that I was going with. They look good on the car. You know, I know this is a short video, a little shorter than my usual, but you know there really wasn't a lot of stuff going on in this video. It was actually a pretty simple, quick build. You know, I had no issues with it whatsoever. The paint turned out phenomenal. I loved how the paint did. I loved how the roof looks after I after I modified it. And you see me here cutting here, but you know, you don't see the entire cutting thing. You know, I kind of cut a little bit and then I skip forward to me chopping it off. But I knew, like I don't know what it was, but just chopping it off and dropping it, it wasn't fitting the theme I was gonna go. If I would have went rat rod, that's probably what I would have done, if I went with a rat rod theme. But instead of that, I ended up cutting the rear post off and I angled the roof down. So I gave it a little slant in the front end just to give it that meaner stance. And you know, it actually turned out amazing. Everything flowed together. It looks good, you know, and I was really happy with the results. Even though I don't do a lot of chop top cars, but the way I did this one, having it like angled downward, yeah, I had to do a lot of filing, that's for sure. But, you know, with the engine that Brad sent me quite a few of those engines, and you'll see me using those in future builds. He sent me not just engines, he sent me some bases for some gassers that I'm going to be doing later on down the road. He sent me some wheelie bars, some little rat fink characters. Eventually, Brad, I will be putting one of those rat fink characters into one of my builds. But right now I got to find the right car, and I'll probably figure it out eventually. You know, you see the wheels there, you see the engine, the wheelie bars are kind of up there at the top. You know, I'm kind of put this piece of styrene on to kind of help the interior not kind of fold down and go further than what it should. And, you know, kind of like a stopper. So I put that on there, and I'm test fitting how the wheels are going to look. And I'm liking the whole stance about it. I'm liking how everything's pretty much just flowing together. Because, you know, I wanted it to look good. It's a roller. I like how it's rolled. I took a front grill you kind of see up there by the tires and this piece of styrene. I took a front grill off. I can't remember what it came off of, but I modified it to where it would fit on this, and oh, man, everything was flowing. That's for sure. You know, everything went as well as planned. Paint went great. You know, I chromed the base. I chromed the engine, detailed all that stuff up, got that figured out. And, you know, I got it to where I wanted it before I started stripping it down and stuff. You know, I got the roof already connected. You know, it's kind of going good. I'm just kind of trying to test fit where I'm going to be putting the engine. And honestly, I think I put the engine a little too far forward on the car on the final result, because it for some reason, you know, after the final results, it just looked like the engine was moved forward a little bit. But it still looks good, don't get me wrong. It looks amazing. And, you know, doing the axle tubes out of some styrene, because it had brass rods that I was using for the axles, I needed a little bit bigger kind of axle tubing to use. So I went with the styrene. It worked out. I kind of was trimming as I go. You know, I had to get rid of these little axle stoppers or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. They're just in the way. But yeah, that's what we're going to call them. We're going to call them in the way. But, you know, once I got it to where it would fit, and, you know, it just started coming together. You know, even with the hood already, or the roof already chopped up, the wheels are coming together great on it, and it just gives it a really nice little stance. It gives it, the wheels and everything look great when it's like sitting there. And you know, I don't do a lot of rat fink builds, but I really like the whole style of them. So, you know, I'm going to try to do for other rat fink builds sometime in the future. Probably with the little rat fink characters that Brad sent me. Heck, I might even do a rat rod or rat fink Mad Max. But let's check out what we started off with. A nice little 33 Plymouth. Good little car. Had lots of potential with this one. Had so many ideas I could have did. You know, but I wanted to go with a rat fink because it's been a long time since I've done a rat fink build. So I thought about doing something, and, you know, without further ado, why don't we go ahead and check out the final results.